Yeah.
We will call the meeting to order. We have everyone present and accounted for. And join me in singing for salute our flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, at this time, I'd like to read our district vision statement. Through intentionally designed systems, Hayden School District is committed to creating a positive, inclusive culture focusing on academic and personal success to ultimately be the district of choice for staff, students, and our communities. Move on to the approval of our agenda. If you notice, board, there was an executive session added as item 8 that was requested today. So we'll obviously get to more information about that when we get there. Just wanted to make you aware that that was added this afternoon. And so, personnel. Oh, sorry, yeah, personnel. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, with that addition, if there's nothing else, we'll just look for an approval of that agenda. Okay, first from Ryan, second from Kelly. All in favor, right hand. 6-0. All right, citizens open forum, and we do have one person. So Nicole, you can go ahead and make your way up here, and I'll just start a timer for 3 minutes, and I'll try to respectfully waive you if you go beyond that.
Hello, good evening. I wanted to thank you for allowing me to come speak to you. I just want to address an important matter regarding the board vacancy and the process of filling the seat. First, I want to remind everyone of the clear structure of authority in public education governance. The superintendent's role is to implement board policy and manage district operations. The board's role is to govern, set direction, and make decisions on behalf of the public, including appointments of vacant seats. It is not within the superintendent's authority to dictate when or how the board should exercise that power. The superintendent may advise or provide information, but the decision ultimately belongs to you, the board. With that being said, this district, like every public body, functions best with a full board. Leaving a seat vacant reduces representation for the community and undermines the voices of your constituents. It increases the workload and pressure on the remaining members, potentially leaving a split decision or a gridlock. Limits perspective and accountability which can impact key decisions, especially during budgeting, staffing, and policy decisions. Filling the seat strengthens the board's legitimacy and decision-making capacity. Every meeting that passes with a vacancy is a lost opportunity for balanced governance. While I understand the desire to respect the election process, it's important to be realistic about the timing and likelihood. In most local elections, unofficial results are rarely overturned unless there was a major discrepancy or there was a count of a small margin. Certification is a procedural step, not an indicator that results are in doubt. So by appointing the individual who received the most votes, the board honors the will of the voters, which is why the board's here. Waiting several more weeks to formally delays the process, and it's unnecessary. I say this with respect, but the board is not an extension of the superintendent's office. It's the governing authority of the district. With administrative staff being directed by the board, it blurs the lines of accountability and undermines public trust. I encourage the board to reassert its authority, follow policy and statute, and move forward with the appointment of the process. You were elected and appointed to serve your constituents, and deferring this indefinitely can just lead to more blurring of lines. Tonight, I urge you to act in full governing body and fill the vacant seat. Doing so demonstrates strong leadership, respect for the voters, and a commitment to effective governance. Thank you for your time and service.
All right, thank you, Nicole. All right, move on to recognitions and presentations. We don't have anything, not tonight. So we'll move on to the consent agenda, and we'll pass it over to Christy for the financial report.
Okay, our ending cash for the month is $4,155,436.47 as listed on the October 2025 Treasurer's Report. The checks we had over $10,000 were to Benny Keith for $41,538.99, Mid-Kansas Co-op for $10,242.24 for fuel, the City of Haven for $18,103.93 for food, and Mark Brook Construction for $98,622.53 for the fax room. And that's all.
All right, thank you for that. If we have any questions in regard to that, now's a good time to ask those.
Two things that I had, that I just wanted clarification on the capital outlay. Do we have 104,000 encumbered? Is that what it is there? And then,
On the capital outlay, it's showing that we only have $3,022.12 encumbered. Because if you look down the unencumbered in Fund 16,
turn my computer on the side. I may have looked at it wrong. If I did,
I think you were looking at the expenditure column, not the encumbrance.
Oh, okay. Okay. And I also see that we expenditure out of the contingency reserve. Just curious what those were.
Okay, so when our auditor came in a couple weeks ago, we used to just have a fund that we'd move back and forth from. At the end of every month, we cannot go into negative in any funds except for the federal funds. So he created a line that's just kind of like a place holding. So at the end of the month, if we're negative in Fund 08 while we're waiting on the money to come back, we take money from there. And it's the same fund, and that's what it's labeled in that contingency fund also.
Okay.
So then as soon as the first of the month, it goes right back in.
We won't spend out of contingency without bringing it to this board
Yeah,
first.
I was curious because I just, as I was starting to look a little deeper and just thought, didn't see that before, so that's why I was asking.
It was the first month that we've put it in that fund.
Okay, so that's why I called you.
Is the, on check, the $18,103 to the City of Haven, that's not really food, is it? Is that supposed to be electricity
No, it's supposed to be utilities, I'm
or
sorry.
utilities? Okay.
Yes. I'll
Sorry,
fix
I was like,
I'll fix that.
usually it's not food, but
We weren't invited to that.
I missed that. That's a lot of food.
That was one heck of a day, so.
Anything else? All right, very good. Move on to principal and director reports. Those are in your drive. We have a few of our directors here and some that are not.
If we have any specific questions for those not in attendance, I can get those
Yeah, we'll pass
answered
those
for you.
along.
I got lots for you. No, okay. The only thing I got a question on is that utility, or the storm shelter, is that big enough?
It is big enough for 24 to 25 kids.
Is that plenty? I mean, do we need to do something, look at something?
On any
bigger?
given day, yes.
It is big,
yes.
okay. That's all I want to know.
It'll be tight, but they'll be safe.
Yeah, okay, that's always the only thing I wanted to know about.
I had some questions, but it was, I think they're Megan, in regards to the math curriculum, stuff like that, and the surveys.
Yeah.
And that sort of stuff. What, you want me to ask them?
I can try to answer them.
Okay, on the math curriculum, so on the surveys that were done, which curriculum, I saw there was multiple curriculums on there, which was that the result for?
That was, I believe, the survey that we sent you in my update was what they were looking for in the curriculums. We haven't, they've narrowed it down to 3 each group, and those are the ones they'll pilot, and then they'll share that stuff with you and bring
Oh,
it
those
to
were
you.
just things they're wanting,
teachers,
and it wasn't
correct.
them looking at a certain
Correct,
curriculum?
correct,
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so she surveyed them all, brought in the math teams, but then surveyed all the stats, certainly, especially at the grade school that all teach math, about what they're looking for
So,
in those.
where were their comments about, like, it was like reading a literature book, not a math book?
I don't know about the comments in it, I didn't, like I said,
Like, there was a lot of things in regards to it being, like, too wordy, or, not enough problems in it. Like, I mean, they were obviously evaluating something.
In terms of the actual curriculums, or what?
Whatever I don't know, that's what I mean in the survey, they were evaluating something.
Then I'll have to get Megan to answer that for you, Kelly.
Yeah, because I didn't know, because my concern was that there was different, or my question on top of that was that there was some different scores and comments that were very different depending on if it was coming from the elementary school or versus the high school. And so does the same curriculum book, and I'm probably going to sound like a dumb question, but are there programs that may be more beneficial to elementary school that may not do high school as well?
100%. That's what we did with our ELA. We found that
Okay.
in ELA, that while yes, I think in a perfect world, we'd love to have something that goes K-12, pre-K-12, but they saw and the 2 groups couldn't agree, and so we were like, okay, we just have to be mindful that when they transition from 6th to 7th, that it's a little, they need to be ready for that, or into their freshman year.
Right, and I guess that was kind of where the questions are,
Yes.
because it just seemed like they were all, if they're all evaluating one program and they had these different comments between the high school and the elementary, can we split them? Is it a cost thing?
Yes,
Whatever.
okay,
I don't
yes,
know.
I would say then yes, that feedback that she shared, I thought the one I put in my update would be for the ones that they looked at, and they sat through some trainings, that I can get you the specific questions.
Okay, yeah, I've got the
surveys are on there?
but
Okay.
it doesn't say which ones they were doing.
You
so
would
I
like
just
to know
didn't
would you?
Yeah, and if we were gonna split and maybe look at 2 different, for the high school versus the other,
Yep.
and kind of what that pilot looks like, and, yeah.
I can get you the names of the 3 that they. the two
Yeah, I've
groups.
got the names, I just didn't know what the survey, which one of those 3
Gotcha,
the
okay.
survey was
That makes
on.
sense, absolutely.
Sorry, yeah.
Yep, no, absolutely.
And if those are the ones we're gonna pilot, and are we gonna split, I don't know, just different questions, because it just seemed like some might be better for maybe a younger.
Yes, absolutely. We, like I said, with that, I assume that is going to happen also with math, just because it's just different worlds.
Yeah, okay, no, that.
Yes, and I will get her to line out the name, the
Yeah, and
curriculum that
I
lines with
mean, I don't have to,
survey.
it was more or less
Yeah.
just kind of like, are we looking at that? But obviously you are, so.
And that timeline, that's mid-spring when she'll bring those to you. And then we'll open it up to the public like we did with the ELA, and have site councils and different groups have a chance to come in and view it as well, to give feedback.
Okay, that's good, thank you.
Anything else?
Do you know how the weighting works on that KP's update? He was talking about weighting records for sub-state play and volleyball and basketball.
He tried to explain it to me. Since he was sitting in that meeting, I would reach out to him.
Yeah,
I'm like, that sounds like it's a mess.
I just thought, I was like, if you just did it strictly based on records of your opponents or something, it might work. But like, if you start relying on
It sounds like
rankings-
it's more than what Keisha can support, but I won't speak for them and I'm not in the meeting. It's just the struggle of us going to Phillipsburg, or us going, across states, or, 4 really strong teams out of the CPL stuck in the same substate, trying to get away from those kinds of things, which I appreciate them working on it because something has to be done. It's just, that sounds like the college football one, and that's,
Yeah, that's kind
it's
of
hard
hard
to follow too, so.
The goal is to be the state champion, you might have to beat the best on the way.
Right, yeah, so the goal is to get the best 8 teams there and not have a,
Yeah,
you know, a sub-stable that's loaded like we've seen
yeah,
in our time here.
I'm just curious.
We have 1, 2, 3, and 4 all
Yeah.
in one bracket.
Yeah.
And then, I don't, I'll have a question on the bus, but we'll have a whole thingy. I'm so excited. Use my knowledge. The short bus.
All right.
We'll also just highlight there on the gifts and donations, if you've seen that, and Craig is here too, as tonight is, shot clocks will be going in. We're, I think, a year away from the state doing it. They put it out there, and anybody that wants to do it is all able to do it. Our league has decided that we won't do it in league play, but we will use it in our non-league play and our tournaments that we host. And so Ray Roofing has donated those, and so just that will be the one gifts and donations for this month.
Very good. We're good on the reports. There's just the minutes from last month's meeting, and also resignations. And so just have you take a look at those things, and if there's anything in regards to that, let us know. If not, we're just looking for an approval of the consent agenda when you're ready.
Second.
First from Ken, second from Amy, all in favor, right hand. 6-0, very good. All right, we're moving on to action and discussion items. Item 1, capital outlay, update, discussion, consideration.
Yeah, so kind of break this into 3 parts, maybe 4, because I think this conversation will need to continue certainly in the next month, as this kind of lines out with the timeline of when we've had these discussions. But kind of, as I said, kind of 3 parts. The first kind of be the roofing, and then HVAC, and then have a little bit of discussion around some others, and in those others, kind of get some guidance from the board. Also, what we want to come back and kind of talk about what we want to bring back in terms of maybe other projects. So I'm going to bring Chris and Craig Helser up for Ray Roofing. While we do this, I just want to talk real quick about the relationship we have with Ray Roofing. They are part of a bid consortium that we're a part of, and so we know that they are going to be the lowest bid. And so when we bring them to you, they've already did the process, so when we know they are going to be the lowest bid. Ray Roofing comes out, if we have a storm or a leak, they're out either that day or the next day. And during my time here, they've done well over $20,000 of repairs that they haven't charged us, because they've just been minor fixes. Some on the roofs that they put in, but then even on some areas that weren't put in during some of the bond work. So we have a great relationship with them. We appreciate them, but we wanted to bring him just so the board can hear kind of from the experts of where our roofs are, and then Chris has a consideration for you. I shared out the facilities document that we use in my update. It shows kind of life expectancy of those, and I'll turn it over to Craig, so thank you.
Thank you, Craig. Ray Roofing has been doing roofs for a long time, probably 25 years or so, until the bond issue happened, and we bid that through Hutton. And a company from Kansas City was like $1,300 lower, and Clark told Hutton they want to use us, and they sent a letter to Clark saying they're going to sue them. So the Kansas City company did the majority of your roofs. So after that debacle went through, it was leaking, we started fixing all the leaks. And then we sat down, and Clark wanted us to do a book of every roof that you have, an analysis of it, and what's on the roof, and when it should be replaced, and what kind of shape your district is in. So we did that. And relatively, for the roofs, you're not in that bad a shape, because the high school almost all got done except for 4 or 5 areas. And we've already done 2 of those, and we're proposing to do 2 more. At the grade school, the gravel roofs, we did those almost 20 years ago, and they're still really in good shape. So you guys are not, your roofs are in pretty good shape. However, because you have so many different roofs on the campus of the high school and the middle school, between metal and TPO and modified, that tie in together, and when it's hot and it's cold, you have quite a few leaks.
And when you do that, we come out and fix them, we don't charge you for them. And I know one of the toughest leaks we've had is over the metal where it goes across the gym, is that right? And we worked on that extensively a couple weeks ago, I think we finally got that stopped. But every time that we do a leak, we don't ever charge you guys. We take pictures of it, we show Chris what we're doing, and we take care of it. And we feel like you guys have been a good customer for us for a long time. We participated in one of your auctions, and I don't know what it was that we got, some kind of Airbnb. And then Craig was giving me the business at the Superintendent School Show, because when he went to Mountain Ridge, they have a scoreboard that says Ray Roofing on it, and then he went to Gospel, they did. So
You wouldn't go for the scoreboard, though.
come on. So Chris and I have officiated together for a long time. I don't rep basketball anymore, but I did for a long time. Still did football, so I told him, and I told Craig, let's see what the shot clocks are gonna cost. I'd like to see you guys get them, because I think it's a good thing for high school basketball. So he found out what they were, and we said we'd take care of it, so we're gonna do that. But
Thank you.
you're welcome. You're welcome. And to be honest, I told Clark a long time ago, we do something, but he said, I don't want anybody's names in our gym, so, you know, we might have done an advertisement or something. But we're happy to do this, but if you have any questions on the roofs, I'd be happy to answer them.
I have a question. Oh, go ahead. It might be the same one. Of course I have a question. So, you mentioned last time, Chris, that some of them were under warranty, so I guess it's warranty from the Kansas City company?
No, that's why I wanted him to clarify that a little bit better, what the warranty means, and
Well, I
No,
know,
it's
but
not
if
like
he's getting,
replace-
having to do fixes that he's not getting paid for, but
so
in a
they
company
can,
that did bad work.
and he probably could say this better, after so many years of that, after so many years that we can have that warranty transferred over to Ray, so they can turn that warranty stuff in, I believe, and get refunded for it.
But we don't, here's the thing, the warranty is only as good as the roofer that does it. Right now, we're putting Carlisle roofs on for you guys, and we've done Carlisle for about 8 or 9 years. We've never turned a warranty claim in, because we just go fix the leaks. So, you do have a warranty, and the Kansas City roofs, we do that material. So if there was an issue that the material would go bad, we would go back on the manufacturer. But if it's just a leak at a rooftop or windows or metal, we just come fix it. I mean, the same thing in any warranties that we give. You have one, mostly it's all from Carlisle, we just come fix it, we don't turn them in. Really, the warranties are only as good as the roofers, because they're good. Let's say that everybody in Ray Roofing was on a plane, and like the DC plane a year ago got hit, and everybody got wiped out, then you probably would want to use that warranty to have someone else come out. But your warranties are only as good as the company you do, and so we just fix everything. When you cut the rooftop units in and those different things, we did those, but we just try to give you guys good service. And we're 20 minutes from here, so if there's an issue, you know, we're right over here.
Well, we appreciate that. I'm just trying to figure out how you can get paid for the work you're doing, that which
Well,
should be covered under a job that was already
yeah,
paid for.
We're fine with that. I mean, you guys, it's just like around the gym. I told Hutton, if you don't pull those windows out and raise them up and flash underneath them, they're gonna leak, and they never did. And then we hired a contractor to do the windows, and we did that, 2 or 3 years ago, and got all that fixed. But we don't mind working on the roofs that they did. And we still do the same manufacturers as that roof does, so we're fine with that.
I remember you doing that book. Do you still have that? I don't think I had that.
Yeah,
That is that document I shared, I put it into that document.
Okay.
For the
then I
rest.
missed
I guess
that.
other minus the pictures.
Okay, because I remember us doing that back when Clark was here, that he went and presented it.
Yeah, and like I said, other than, last year we did the music room, this year we're supposed to do the signs for the quad room, and then there's one roof that's on the gym. After that, pretty much everything on the high school, middle school campus has been re-roofed.
How long, you think that we're in pretty good shape on them for a while then? I
I
mean, do you
do,
think?
I really do, and that book shows that too. The gravel roofs, they're older, but we have never had them leak. So I think you're fine over there, and then a couple of the roofs were done in the bond. So as far as roofing goes, you're not in that bad of shape. There's certainly, I could go list you, for example, Mulvane, they have no money, Newton, on, that Goddard has a ton of roof problems, but they don't have any money. to spend. So it makes it tough. You guys are in pretty good shape, really.
So these roofs that need replaced, are those ones that were done by the Kansas City
No.
company, or these, okay,
No,
these are the older ones, okay.
yeah. They've got the old modified on them, and
Okay.
we're gonna put the TPO. What we've done is we're putting the TPO on, it's called fleece back. It's got a carpet on the bottom we glue to, and then we put like a sheetrock coverboard, so you get a 3-inch hail rating from Carlisle, and then an I-90 wind uplift. So that's the best warranty that you can get, and fleece back's the best material. So. And when we put the roof on, he can tell you, we didn't, somehow one of the drains wiggled loose, and it flooded the classroom, and as soon as he called me, we had people over here and got it fixed. So.
If any of the board members would like the hard copy of the book, we can get those printed for you if you'd like one.
I wouldn't mind having that, just,
And we ought to try to put, I sent him the new Google Earth update that shows a couple of these roofs have been done, so you can see in the map. So if you could add it to that. But we had, and I gave Chris and Craig a list of leaks that we've done in the last year and where they're at. And some at the high school, auditorium, different places. It's about $4,500 worth of workmanship, and of course, we didn't charge you guys anything for it, and that's just what we do. But we do that for Heston, we do that for Newton, you know, unless there's a big issue. That's how we keep customers. We're all about service.
You don't have to do it.
Yeah, I think when I had told them warranty, their thinking, or maybe some of their thinking was, you just come replace a roof because it's leaking, but it's more, they come in and repair those leaks in those areas. Only way they're gonna really replace it if it's a material defect or something like that, where they'll come in and do a total replacement or something.
And any repair that we do, we document, take pictures of it, we give it to him so he can see what it is. And if we have a repeat leak, we'll come back. But Oscar has been coming over here, and he's really good, and we had a pretty good success rate of getting most things fixed. I was hoping in the hailstorm, we came over the next day, that it just wasn't much wind, and the hail was kind of soft, we couldn't really see anything, but we were over here checking that.
Chris, do you want to walk them through the consideration then? The bid, and then they-
Yeah, so I think I put it on there, we just have the two bids here, the two roofs, the Science Quad Lab, which was $33,980, and the other one's $44,800 on the quadrooms. On those particular roofs, on the Science Room Lab particularly, there's starting to be a lot of bubbles, and it's just an old roof. And we've had quite a few leaks in those areas, but they came out and fixed them, and this last time they were out here on 2 leaks in those particular areas once again. It's just getting an old roof up there. So those would be the 2 roofs that I would recommend that we'd have done this year.
Any questions related to the bid?
And this comes out of capital outlay, correct? Do we budget anything for this type of stuff, or is it just kind of
This
whatever
is
we
usually
want?
the first thing we take, go Anthony, if these 2-3 things done, and then what do we have left to talk about as a project? Usually roofs and HVACs are, can't really.
We did one over Christmas break last year, or was it?
Spring break.
Spring break, so yeah, I think we approved it in, I don't know, January or December or something, and they did it during spring break.
If you're a school and you sign up for next year about this time, in November, December, you're gonna get better pricing than you will if you wait. And it just floors me how many people call us in May and say, schools, hey, we need you to come do our roof. We're already booked up. We're booked up for the whole year. But like at Arc City, they had a softball size hail, which is fortunate for them. So I was talking with Craig and Chris about insurance, that's another issue, but they had $75,000 deductible on every one of their buildings. So they ended up spending $375,000 in deductibles. The roof was $2.4 million. And then one of the roofs was so old, it only had a 50% depreciation. So luckily, they had some capital outlay money, and so we ended up with about $3 million of roof work for them during the hail. But that's something to pay attention to, is your deductibles on your buildings. Because this way changed, just like your house now.
Do we know what ours changed?
They didn't change, they stayed at 25.
And you guys are in the pool, that's a good group. Arc City's still with EMC. And we've had to fight EMC a lot, but down there, everything we ask for, they pay. So, but the pool's very good. That's who Newton's in. And a lot of schools have switched to that. And even in Newton, we had a discrepancy for 2 years that we could never get them to turn the hail damage in. Then Fred came in from up north, and then Chris Schaefer came in from Wichita, and we turned it in, and they didn't even have the same company, and we still got them $1.6 million worth of hail damage from 2 years ago. So they're pretty good to work with.
All right, sounds like there's nothing else. There is a possible action there listed, and so decision of the board.
Is that just if we want to
with,
move forward with the roofs, do we need
yeah.
to look at the HVAC too? And I mean, how much money do we want, are we looking
This
at
is,
with
this is
all of
what
that
we've
as a
spent
whole?
since each year since I've been here, right around here.
Right around
We've
here.
got, yeah.
Okay,
So
and I know we have some
absolutely.
HVACs down,
Yeah.
but do we have some that we spend historically with that
Yep.
too? Okay, I just wanna make sure
Yep.
that we don't.
Good question. Yeah, Chris, we talked, I would feel comfortable moving forward with this. It aligns with, our strategic plan and keeping things updated and these two things, in my opinion, and Chris is like, they're necessities. We've got to keep our people dry and cool or warm. And so, not getting so far behind the 8 ball that we're trying to do it all in 1 year. So,
Yep.
So if we approve this, this is Yoder,
This is just for the roofing, right?
just the roof right here, this whole.
Yeah, well, then Chris is going to talk HVAC here.
Yeah, right, but I mean, in the room, they're not broken out here, that's why I was asking.
Sorry, yeah, no, we can make 2 different ones.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Chris.
your time.
Or Fred. Thanks for coming in. We don't make you stick around for the whole thing.
We can go on to the HVAC if you would like to hear that first. It's kind of very similar. I think we've done a pretty good job between the energy lease, which is one we're coming to the end of paying, and then also some of those units are coming to the end of their life. And if you click on that HVAC tab on that document I shared with you, we've got a few at Yoder that we've got to replace, and then over the next 3 years after this, working on replacing those ones at HDS that will be running at their end of life in 2028. And so, that we can do over a couple of years, 2 to 3 years as well, kind of like we've done. But Chris can walk through these bids and HVAC and answer any questions regarding that.
Yep, like I said, we have a lot of these exact same units throughout the district, quite a few at the high school. And then there's 4 or 5 at Yoder. So I thought that'd be a good place to start so we could get the Yoder just be taken care of, because during the Essers and the bond, the other units out there were replaced. So we're down basically these 5, and then we wouldn't have to worry about that school probably for another 15, 20 years. And so that's why I started with them, no reason other than that. And I just know that we have about 30 coming up here to the 18 years old, and recommendations are usually 15 to 20 to start replacing. So that's these bids. I got 3 different bids from 3 pretty good companies. We had used 2 of those companies in our district already all the time. And then the third one, that guy used to work for 5 Star. I know him real well, so I had his company get the project too. And CMW was the cheapest, and they were gonna put a train unit, which is what we have out there right now. That's why I recommend the train over the other bids, is it's what they have there now, and it could be just put on and replaced as is. The other bid, we'd have to put a curb adapter, raise it up higher, and it'd go up about 12, 20 inches higher, so then it becomes a little bit of more of an eyesore too. You're seeing a unit higher up on the roof, because they'd have to have a curb adapter put on it.
No place for the roof to leak.
Sometimes that's a problem when we replace units that cause roof leaks.
Don't we have HVAC issues in the middle school gym?
Yeah, the middle school gym, that one just, I talked to so many companies trying to get it lowered, but around 400,000 is the lowest I've gotten.
For the,
Yeah, to do what we need to do in there, that I'm trying to get a price on just replacing the unit just like it is, and that it's probably around 120 to 150 probably, but we're not really, it'd be a bad fix, I believe. It's because it hasn't ran right the way it is now, so I don't like the idea of doing what we already did.
because they're not working well right now. I don't know, I just want to, I know it keeps coming up in different meetings that we've had, like.
Yeah, so one unit's completely down, of the two, the air doesn't work anymore, and that fix would probably be about 20,000 just to replace the compressor.
And that's what I guess if I'm going with, if we need to spend money towards an HVAC, and these are all still working, yes, I know they might be up first in the cycle of rotation, but if we have a current issue, and these don't have a current issue, should we look at addressing the current issue first and spending the money there versus these may
Yeah.
or may not have an issue?
I think the
I would
issue
love
with
to
the,
do the high school first, but it's just the price. And I know the money, where we're at money-wise, I just don't feel that, or I didn't feel that you guys are gonna want me to come in here with a 300-400, or one was even 600,000. I was like, that, to me, it almost started sounding like a bond.
I think you spend a little bit in the gym, it'll be fine.
Well, and you do have one of the two, there's two, right?
One of the two
works,
are
one doesn't,
working,
so
and-
it's not gonna be 105 degrees in there in the summer.
As
It's gonna be
long as-
toasty,
The
but
other one,
yeah.
the other one we worked on, had worked on it 2 years ago, I believe, we had done, and it was 13,000 to get it working.
What if we
And they
spend
were-
the 20, sorry, I interrupted you on that compressor, what's the lifespan of that part of it then? I mean, what, get us 10 years, 5 years, you think?
You're also putting it in an old unit, so.
So we're
something
putting
else
it right
could-
back into something that needs replaced, that's.
Well, I know, but we don't have 400,000 or whatever.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
that would be an option, is to get the other one fixed, and then it'd run like it has been. We have already, had a heating coil with that on it, we pulled it out already, it's part of just the design, they did it during the design, they did it, the air conditioner was added on after the fact, so they kind of put it inside of a unit, and it hasn't ever ran right because it was just an add-on to something that wasn't originally meant for that, so it's always tripping out on high pressure, it's just, so it has never ran right since it's been put in with AC. Now, the heating works great.
I guess I just didn't want to spend 62, whatever thousand, and then, next January, whatever, you're gonna have to spend 100,000 to get something working over the middle school, and we just approved 60,000 on something we didn't necessarily need, yes, I get it,
Yeah,
the rotation, but I think I would like to know what is a true realistic lifespan of not being stuck in there with no AC unit, whatever at all. I don't know, is that?
I'd rather have the kids at the school actually going in the classrooms to be comfortable instead of kids playing sports in the gym.
Well, I'm just saying on this, if it's not broken right now, if we just turn and
You know,
replace it, but we have something that is broken, are we not looking at fixing that versus just spending it on something that's not broken?
yeah, and they're gonna, and I don't have a problem waiting, look out, I've had them out several times and they just think we're dumping money into something or like just a temporary fix it like we would be by trying to replace a compressor, knowing that that unit, it'd be like me replacing a unit, a compressor in one of these, we're replacing a compressor in an 18-year-old unit that we're gonna be making a recommendation needs replaced anyway. That's why I have a hard time putting, 20,000 into something that we're really gonna be looking at replacing in the near future. But I understand that I've been trying to get them to give me a price. They're just struggling coming out and giving me a good price on that, but to replace the whole unit itself. They're 25-ton units, so there's 2 of them, and it's about 4,000 a ton is what they say is the average price. So when you've got 2 of them, you're looking at close to 150,000 to 200,000 just to replace the unit itself. And that's going back to exactly like it is now, and not replacing a boiler, which we need to replace our boiler. So that's why it became a $400,000 deal, because we're trying to throw a boiler in there too, for a new way of heating.
So then,
So we've had,
so would you replace the boiler, or would you get rid of the boiler completely?
we keep going both routes, because we're trying to, because boiler prices have went down, and they said the efficiency has really went down. So every company's given us recommendations. We did have Basis Engineering come out here and give us some ideas, and that would be to replace the boiler. And so we did have an engineering firm come out and look at what their recommendations would be, but when they gave me the price, approximate price, it was 600,000. That's when I started going, all right, I'm gonna reach out to other people too. But
Is there a way where we could just kind of see, okay, this is what is wrong with it? I don't know what's wrong with it. I haven't noticed anything when I'm in there, but I'm not in there.
one's
that much.
broken and keeps up.
Okay, yeah, but I just, where we're dealing with, okay, this is the current situation, this is what it's gonna cost to either get the other one going, but yes, we could be throwing $20,000 into something that we shouldn't be throwing $20,000 in. This is the Cadillac, your $600,000 quote of everything,
Yeah.
and then this is the stuff in between, and then so that we don't end up with nothing over there, but we don't wanna let this go either. I mean, we don't want classrooms, kids miserable in classrooms either, so it's just, I just don't wanna get caught with having to shell out, having nothing, and then you have 200,000 that you have to come up with in order to get it working, or.
And I have one company working on the boiler option right now, and then actually CMW is wanting to come out here, and CMW and both 5-star, I have asked them just to give me a replacement cost of just doing it exactly like it is now and going back in with something. So yeah, I could reach out and do that and have them come out and look at what it would cost. I know it's a compressor, it's gonna be a leak in the compressor. It's all out of, has no, all the oil's run out somewhere. So it's probably a bad compressor.
I may be a little bit confused here. Is it also covering classrooms, or is it just the gym?
The gym only covers, it covers a locker room, one locker room, and then Christina Barrow, how do you say her name? Her health classroom. The air conditioner and heater do that.
Okay. So the one that's broke, that covers her classroom, or not?
The air conditioner does.
That's broke.
That one, it actually has a separate air conditioning unit on it, but it's tied into with the boiler goes to her room.
Okay.
But the AC is not on that part of her room.
Okay.
Actually, locker room's on this, not on that either, it's on a separate AC. But the boiler is on the heat for all those rooms.
But for the AC, is that just
That's
covering
just
the
it,
gym?
yeah. The one that's went bad.
Oh, we have one that works, it's
One of
working
the-
fine.
One of the two, yes.
Is it miserable in there now, or just, I guess I haven't paid attention?
No,
I mean, I haven't noticed, but that's what I didn't know, what,
when the guys came out and worked on it, they don't know what they did, they accidentally, I accused them of jumping something out to make it run, because it was 60 degrees in there, it was so cold. And then, so I had to go shut it off, and so it definitely will, and that was during, or when it was probably 80 to 90 out, it was 60 degrees in it. So it'll keep up, but really, really hot days, it's a lot of work on it. We're stressing and then we put a lot of work on it.
And I guess that's where I just don't know what the
Yeah,
cause.
it's kind of like running a car with 300,000 miles, like it's still kind of going down the road, but it's not, not what it used to be.
Yeah, what's the downside if the car breaks down, we can't get to, what is that? What is it? I think that's what you were going with, what classrooms or what?
Yeah, is it just the gym? Can we just, I mean, how often is it used when it's hot outside, that gym?
Well, but, I mean, they use it during the summer and it is our main, it's a classroom really, it's PE all day, every day.
Okay.
So they don't like it hot in there, do you? It does get hot in there when it's not
Okay.
running.
Well, now I
Make
can
them
understand.
It's not like when
You just had fans.
Oh, the grade school's
yeah.
It is hot, yeah. Yeah, the crystal would have to
Yeah, the grade school's hotter than that gym.
Yeah.
Time to go over to the grade school.
I guess I just didn't want to
Which is
put
a
money
little
out,
bit
if there's something that we need to put money for, if we're down to one, and then what's the realistic life expectancy of that one, and then we're gonna have to come up with what, 200, 400, I don't know,
Yeah.
what is the level of that?
Well, can we approve the roof, because I hate leaky roofs, we should get the roofs fixed no matter what, at the first. Can we make a motion can we split it up to, make a motion to fix the roofs, and then let's get some actual bids to see what it costs for the gym.
Okay, I mean, I have I have a real bid for the gym, replacing everything, and that was 400,000, but I haven't had the.
Because we probably need to slap it up against everything that we've got out on the table to see.
Yeah, what we spend
They'll
on
have
that.
on the lane.
But I don't have a bid on just fixing the
I know
unit
there's not
that's
one,
broke
but-
by itself, or replacing those units just one for one, taking off and putting it back on.
And that would be curious, just if, because if you are looking at 400,000 and we don't have that, and then, but we need one of them up and running, what does that look like? Because that's gonna be our, oh crap, our car broke down, what do we need to buy to get to work?
I'm guessing, I mean, just off what happened last time, I'm guessing they could get the other one up and running probably for 15 or 20, and then we just.
Hopefully,
Hope it
Open
runs,
pray, huh?
and That's what we're doing with the other one, it just keeps running.
What kind of time frame would that give us if we did just fix that?
How soon would they fix it?
No, what kind of time frame would it last, or is there any kind of, are we looking,
Well,
I think
there's
he
more.
tried to ask too, that, are we looking at a 4 or 5 year, would that give,
It's just that there's more than one compressor in there, so we had a compressor go bad, and every unit has 2 or 3 compressors in them. So if one went bad, then next one's gonna go right behind it, or so. It's just a gamble on what's gonna happen.
Could be 5 years, could be 5 days.
I mean, that's, if we could live along a little bit until we, and then set aside.
Yeah. And the fact that we don't have any AC in the grade school is kind of like, middle school's not our only problem here.
Yeah, I do
Can we,
kinda,
just come back on that one then and do the roofs and,
yeah, I could get more, some solid numbers on repair cost, just to repair it, and then, just to replace those units one for one, and going back the way it is, and I don't think we end up going that route, because it still sounds like it's gonna be close to 200, just to.
Good call.
well, if we have those hard numbers, then that's what I get excited about later, that we could do the cost analysis like we did like on the bus situation with that, if we could see it,
Yeah,
those actual numbers on that.
yeah, I just knew if I bring them out to look at it, they're gonna charge me to come out and look at it and repair it, or to serve, they don't, I just know it all leaked out, and I said leave it alone for now. So, but yeah, I'll have to call service tech out and have them check it out.
Alright, sounds like, for HVAC, it sounds like we have a burst over there.
I'll make a second on the roof.
On
The roof.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, yeah, for the
On the
roof,
roof.
sorry. So, we got a first from Ryan for that. Second from Ken, all in favor, right hand, 6-0.
I'm gonna just repeat what Craig said a little bit too, is both, all the HVAC people did tell me that prices are going to go up on especially the end of this year, they say prices are to that point that they're gonna go up. So same thing as about roofing prices.
What
These
kind
are
of
all
good, you
guaranteed
think
for
we're good till
30
next
days.
month?
But, I mean, I think they would probably do it, but yeah, I'd say, I mean, most,
need to make a
all these
decision.
bids were good for 30 days, but I'm sure they'll
Plan to
honor
plan on making a decision in December.
them. Yeah,
Chris, you know what you're tracking down there?
yep.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Don't go too far, Chris, we might have some more questions. So really, then, when we talk about the others, there's the track. Obviously, that's been discussions. Our plan, we're meeting with the company, Chris can tell a little more about it, we feel that the best bet is to just take a core sample to see what we're working with under there before we're able to, you know, if just resurface this is gonna crumble apart in 3 years, it's kind of the same decision, we're wasting our money. And so, Chris, you wanna just kind of talk about that and what that looks like?
So yeah, when I went to the director's meeting in Memphis, they're just they kind of, I don't know, they call them like a construction manager, but they just come in and do all kinds of sports things. They could do track, they do baseball fields, they do everything, but they're gonna meet with us on Thursday, and their recommendation would be to, because we don't know what's under that surface, so if they did a core, they drill a hole, do a core sample, and they would know if it's asphalt, concrete, and then at that point, they'd probably come in and give us a recommendation on the areas and on what to do, instead of us just taking our bids out to other track companies. And then what they would like to do is, they would like to do the bidding process. So they wouldn't do the work, but then they would reach out to the track companies instead of me, and then they're gonna have those companies bid the track. And then we come back with a proposal on what their recommendation would be to do and the cost.
Chris thinks he can get us through this season, with what's out there. But
Yeah.
it's at the point where, well, hopefully this isn't as bad as probably what we think, but at a point where we're gonna have to do something about it.
They look at it and
Can't
say, oh,
patch
it's
it.
not that bad, and then I showed them where it's real thin, oh, it is in worse shape than we thought, but then he looked at the repairs we did already, and he's like, well, if you did that on those spots, you can make another year out of it for sure, so he thought the repairs were done well enough that it's safe for the kids. And
Chris, what happened to the asphalt track that was underneath, or that was there once upon a time? Did they
That's-
ever shoot that up?
that's, I'm guessing they
That
got
probably is the
resurfaced.
base.
That could be the base.
Because I remember running on that dumb thing when it was asphalt.
But
You
my
didn't
guess
want to
is,
stumble
That's
at all.
what we go to my high school, we just surfaced the asphalt.
I'm guessing they just, I bet they took that asphalt off. I don't think they would have went right over top of it. I think we'd have more issues than we do.
That's why I was wondering on
I don't know when they did that 7-lane, they did that before I was here, so over 20 years ago.
that. Like I said, back when I ran on that track.
Dirt lanes.
Dude, not dirt. The grade school was dirt.
You were living it up since you had that.
Yeah, that's why
I
they
mean, we
wanted-
thought that was the cat's meow.
That's why they do a core sample, is we really know what layers of stuff. It could be asphalt and concrete, who knows, so.
What is the management company?
Integrity Group, I believe is their name. They're out of Kansas City.
And the other possible, I think, in terms of just things that were carried over in the discussions from last year, is the outsides of the buildings. And that's the other big kind of red light that came out of out of the Weems facility assessment. And so certainly would be my recommendation to bring back some bids of what that looks like to fix the outside. You've seen the front of the high school, some water's gotten down between the paint and the wall and have these big bubbles and just the cracks at the grade school. We kind of just got some initial painting and things like that a couple years ago. Obviously it will be more, but that was over $100,000 for a project like that. And so the board is okay, we will move forward, at least having those discussions and bringing some bids back, discuss over the next couple of months as well. And then really the only other thing, and it'll, 80% of it will get covered at a B-rate, and Brad's continuing to work through that. It's just the infrastructure update, and we paid the 20%, so the first bid was around $100,000, we believe. They're finalizing that and kind of waiting for E-rate dollars to be available, and so we would bring that to you to be able to spend those down as well. Other than that, that would really be my recommendation in terms of projects the board would want to look at this year, where we're at. We'll open it up to any questions or anything else the board would like us to bring back. I'll make sure we give it to you.
I think the teachers, that was one of the things when we went around and asked teachers what they didn't like or wanted in the buildings, that was, the paint was definitely on their list. Come over really nice to work.
Guys, you got more things than we wanted to pay for, so, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we're already out of money.
Yeah. All right,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to item 2, consideration of CLEP policy. This is a second read.
So I did not hear any feedback on any changes, so we're just looking for a motion and approval of this. Mr. Mason presented on what that looked like for us. I think it's, I would recommend moving forward with this. I think it's a good opportunity for students that qualify for that, and you know, I'd like to see it hopefully expand, and you know, it's a cheap way to get some college credits and things for our kids. So that would be my recommendation, but I can do my best to answer questions. But as I said, I'm not hearing any feedback on changes, so nothing has changed yet.
I move we approve.
First from Ryan, second from Ken, all in favor, raise your hand. All right,
Whatever you
6-0.
wanna put in.
All right, item 3, consideration of Title I Family Engagement Policy. This is also a second read.
Yep, same spiel, so I will save that, but this is, as we, one of the, just a compliance piece is making sure our grade school is a Title I school, so making sure we're following policy to use those dollars the right way and having the correct meetings and things like that. So I'll do my best to answer any questions for that, but we just recommend approval of that policy as well.
I make the motion to approve.
First from Kelly, second from Ken, all in favor, right hand. 6-0. All right. Item 4, consideration of storm shelter at Little Learners. Here in Haven.
So, yeah, so Chris can answer any questions in terms of location and checking the boxes with the city, which he has done, but I shared the bid with you. This will be the last bit of our grant funds. I recommend this purchase. You know, it'll be a storm shelter that'll go on the outside of Little Learners. They do have that downstairs, and while you get down there, it's a lot nicer than you would expect, and dry and lit, but all those things. But you know, there's a big concern about getting, you know, a bunch of little littles downstairs, you know, in an emergency type situation. And so Chris can answer any questions, but I would recommend approval of this, and the bid was for the unit itself and the concrete slab.
So yeah, I guess this is just one brochure I have that that's around it. Basically looks like a metal building.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What does it look like? A big brick?
Yeah.
Be something for kids to,
And we may be able to put a little fence in front of it so you can't see it from the road too.
Yeah.
That's hot.
So the building I prefer to see.
We put that right on the east side of the building right now, where they could walk out that east side of the door and be able to walk in there.
You like butt up against the building, put a door in it, so we have extra room. And
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I actually like that idea where it'd be a door and you could walk right in.
It would be nice if you did both sides.
This can be,
Like
the
an office.
A lot more
big
space.
old hillsides coming.
the thing about this building too is, it can be tore down at any time and moved to any location elsewhere, and it could be added on any time too, so they just take a panel off and then they could add on to make it bigger at any point too.
There's your place.
Looks like a metal building from Sturdyville.
Yeah.
He'd like to make a roof office.
So this would hold about 20 to 25 kids at 3 square foot per kid.
And that's like half of them are gonna get held probably anyway, right? I mean, I guess half of them, I mean, you've got 6 adults in there.
Oh,
Probably.
yeah, 25 kids, but, and how many, you got 6 adults?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, give or take. But you know, half of them can stand.
Yeah, Megan did the math, said they will, on any given day, they will fit
I mean, honestly, there's probably very
in.
few
They'll
that
probably get tight.
can't
The fire
stand
marshal's
up
good
at
with that
all,
many in there? Okay.
or sit up on their own.
You got a floor pad, concrete, is that with the pad and everything?
Yeah,
So are you gonna make the pad a little extra in case you gotta add on eventually? So if you can add on to those?
I made it a little bit bigger so they could walk out the door and not walk in the dirt, and that's, I didn't make it bigger that way, I didn't make it bigger, gotta be bigger to the north.
So you don't have much room side to side, right?
Yeah,
It's need longer.
I think
We can
there's two or 3 feet.
I mean, yeah.
The thing is, we're not getting, that building can't get any bigger unless we add
Yeah.
2 lanes. So we're at capacity.
You're about out of room right out there anyway.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
Make a motion that we approve the storm shelter for the little owners at Hayes.
Second.
First from Ken, second from Daniel, all in favor, right hand. 6-0. Check the bids. All right, item 5, bus bid review.
Yeah, so to bring Chad up, as I had said, you know, the price of the original bus had changed due to tariffs and some other, I will let Mr. Ashworth know you guys did not complete the whole meeting, but they must have made their time. Just 1 hour? Okay. No, I'm kidding, I'm not telling you. You guys can go. Tell him watch the video, I don't have to tell him. Talk about the bus, because the price obviously did go up with the tariffs. He talked, there are some other options to consider, but Chad will still give you what his recommendation would be. But I'll turn it over to Chad, and we'll do our best to answer questions and next
So, Kansas Department of School, they have a bus purchase website that we go onto for the state. And being a school district, if it's over $20,000, you gotta get at least 3 different quotes. So the state does a good job having this site for us where we can go on there, build a bus out, and then it automatically compares 3 different companies. So I went on there with my sales rep, and we built a bus together. And then I went and placed the order in September after you guys approved it, and he came back and said, oh wait, we forgot, we didn't put this and this on there, and the tariffs, and now there's been a model year increase. So that's price increase. So what was originally $154,622 is now an overall purchase price of $169,492 for that wheelchair, 77 passenger wheelchair accessible bus. We can still use that grant, but that grant will not change. It was a percentage-based grant, but I talked to KDHE and they weren't going to, you know, increase the price of the grant just because the bus price increased. So the total in difference was that $14,870 would be after the grants applied to that $169,492 if we were to go that way. I put a couple other options in here if you guys were to decide you didn't want to spend that much this year. Eventually, I mean, all 3 of these things need to happen. So eventually we'll be coming back and asking for all of these. But personally, I would think at this moment, if we had to prioritize, it would probably be the 77 passenger wheelchair bus would be the most important for our district now. Because currently, if we have a wheelchair, well, we do have a wheelchair student in our district, and if they ride on any activity, we also have to take a minibus with the wheelchair lift for any activity. So this bus would eliminate that, and we could just still take just 1 bus for that, for an activity trip. But the other 2 options is a wheelchair accessible 14 passenger minibus. It would hold 12 normal seated students and then 2 wheelchair students. That price is $120,160. It was priced off the Kansas builder website as well. So the difference between that bus and the 77 passenger bus after we applied the grant was only, you know, what was it, a little over $10,000. With the minibus, we would not be able to use that KDHE grant, so we'd be paying full price for that bus.
Hey Chad, back up onto the full-size bus.
Yeah.
We can then later purchase seats to put in there.
So, correct, sorry. So with this bus, I have the wheelchair, the 77 passenger bus. I have it built, one side has tracks, so we can add seats if we're not using it as a wheelchair bus. We can add, there's 6 seats that we can add to that bus to where we can just use it for normal seating. Those 6 seats is $3,100. So if we were to take those seats out right now, we could buy them later, and that would be a $3,100 difference. So just taking those 6 seats out. So that would take that, 130 down, what, 3,100. I don't got a calculator with me, it's been a long day. But then the price increase for the model year was $3,500. So, but yeah, that is an option. We could purchase that without the seats in it right now, those 6 seats, and we'd still be able to use the bus. It just wouldn't have the 77 passenger seating capacity until we purchase those other seats.
So it would be 71 then, or would it be 65?
It would be 65.
Do we put that many people on a bus that often, or?
Yeah, when we do like the middle school activity trips, they're usually 140 kids. And
So you kind of need the seats.
yeah, and usually we take multiple buses, we have that many people, and then a lot of the grade school trips take 2 or 3 buses when we go on activity trips.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
but
I am a little curious here.
yeah.
You got Kansas Truck Equipment for 169, 492. You got Midwest Transit for 169, 386. Why would you want to take Kansas Truck over Midwest Transit? I'm just asking the question.
So, biggest thing is Kansas Truck is right here in Wichita. We have a great relationship with them. Midwest is in Kansas City. If we've ever needed any warranty work or anything done on our buses, they get us right in Wichita. We drop the bus off. A lot of it's just because we have such a good relationship with them. I didn't think the price difference was enough to bark at, I guess.
Yeah, there's not much difference, but
yeah.
I just didn't know if we were required to take the low.
No, we're not. We can still decide on which bid we take.
Fuel to pick it up is gonna be enough to make a difference.
Yeah.
And now, yeah.
Well, the
Because
thing
we
is,
will have
on
to take a bid.
some of the government projects, they'll allow you, if there's somebody local, what they mean local is within that county,
Yeah.
there's like a 5% that they can be over. So that's why I was wondering,
Yeah.
is there,
No, we just have to have the price comparison. We can still choose either of the quotes that we want. But that was the reason I decided to go with Kansas Truck, is just because we have such a good relationship with them. If we need anything in any of us, they usually get us right into the shop and get it fixed up for us. And it's nice not having to drive to Kansas City for
I mean,
so.
I've heard that, you.
Yeah. But, and then I did get you guys a third option, which like I said, eventually we'll be coming back with all 3 of these, so it's, what you decide to do at this time. The third option would be to purchase a new Suburban, be a 9-passenger Suburban, and that price was $62,995, so just under $63,000. We use, I want to say, we have 13 school vehicles between the Suburban we have now, vans, cars, a couple SUVs. We use them all. Transits, I mean, there's days where I have all 3 transits out, all the minivans are being used, and I'm scraping to find something to get somebody somewhere. So it would be nice to have another Suburban, in the lineup too. And it'd be a 9-passenger, not an 8-passenger. The more people we can pack into something, the better we are. So, but obviously, my opinion would be to still go with the 77-passenger, even though that price did increase. That difference. We would have to approve it if you decided to go that way. We'd have to approve the 169,492, and then again that grant from KDHE after we got the bus would be applied, and that would be the $38,655 and 50 cents, which would bring the total overall cost down to $138,3650. So, any questions on? I know Kelly, you said you might have some questions.
So excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, numbers make me happy. So, In that, yeah, I got through my education finance degree thing, and so, it was kind of nice because this fit really perfectly with it, is how boards can make decisions based off of really narrowing different costs down
Sure.
to dollars and cents and usages and that sort of thing. And so you're actually kind of, the idea is just, you're supposed to break it down to cost per student to actually get how much does it really cost the school, how many kids is it actually affecting. And so I ran roughly on the 77 passenger activity bus at the 130 after the discount, what it's actually costing the school. And it puts about a cost per participating student. Now this is just, I run it more than one time per year. This is just the flat number additionally. It brings it out about $1,700 per student if it's only ran once. To get a number obviously that was more realistic, even just at a lower, I just said, okay, well, you know, how often are we going to use it? All of that would affect this, and that's what I compared the break-evens on the other ones, because those might be used more frequently than a 77 passenger bus. So I said, okay, well, what if we used it 20 times per year, just to give us an idea. That now increases our numbers, you know, we have 20 times the 70. We are now doing 1,540, ideally students if it was at full capacity. Brings it to about $85 per student per use within that 1 year. So with the 14 passenger minibus, same concept at 120, it's about $8,500 per student. Not realistic with one use. To break even or make it consistent with the 77 passenger, you would say if you were to drive it more than 100 times, if you were to drive the 77 passenger only 20 times, you would have to take the minibus over 100 times to break even at the same cost as the 77 passenger. And then with the Suburban, it was about an 80 times per year breakover period. So it was kind of saying, okay, well, would we use the Suburban more than 80 times a year? Well, probably so, but that at least says more or less than 20 times on the 77 passenger. Sure. To just try to break apart what is it really costing per use or per student for us.
But your grant can't be used for Suburban.
No.
No, the only thing the grant could be used for is that 77 passenger.
That's the only one.
That's the only one, yeah.
Yeah, which I think is why it's bringing that price down on that per student, per use. Obviously, there was concerns with that, and I think some of them were brought up as far as, okay, how often do we fill it? Do we have CDL drivers or whatever to drive, because that's a whole different driver now at that level. You know, will we fill it 20 times or more per year?
Kind of
Yeah, absolutely.
So with that, if we were to go the 77 passenger route, so we would, right now we have 3 activity buses. We have the white one, which can only be used for activities, and then we got 2 other ones that we can use. They're yellow, so we can also use them on route. So this bus would replace our oldest activity bus, which would rotate into a route bus. There are times, you know, during basketball season stuff where that bus would be going out 2 or 3 times a week. Now with the minibus, obviously that's not going to be an activity bus. It's going to be a route bus. It would be used Monday through Friday every day, which I know makes a difference in that. But yeah, that 77 passenger bus, now obviously the server, and it just depends on when it would be needed. I mean, sometimes a couple times a week, sometimes not at all during the week. But 77 passenger bus, you know, it would be rotated through just like any other activity bus. So, you know, and during field trip season, you know, we're going to use it a lot. During basketball season, we'd use it a lot. And that's why I wanted to go with the extra seating, so when it's not being used as a wheelchair accessible bus, we can still put those extra seats in and just use it, you know, just like any other bus.
Right.
So, but then when we do have a wheelchair student that we would need to transport, I just want to be able to do that. So.
But yeah, that's why I was trying to break the numbers down so that we could actually get a usage, what would be used more, and that's the way to kind of figure out what the value of it. for us as a district,
Mhm.
so.
How long do you typically use an activity bus as an activity bus before rotating out?
So
Or like the one that you
legally-
take out, how long?
legally, you can only use an activity bus for 25 years.
Well, but you said you had an activity bus that would be
So
pushed to
the
the route.
bus that we would be rotating out is a 2010 model. I'd have to look at my
Okay,
paperwork.
so basically you're using 2/3 of the life or so as an activity bus.
And
the
then
last
it'll
third or
roll
so
into a. I like to.
grind some miles on
I'd like to try to get into a habit of, getting rid of a bus, at least a 20-year rotation. So once we rotate that activity bus, it's gonna be a route bus till we retire it. So, yeah.
Was that one of them, that was the original ones that we got for activity with AC and all, the rooftop units?
It does have AC and rooftop, I'm not sure,
Then that had to be nearer than 10,
yeah,
because that had to be closer to,
maybe a
19.
15. No, it's not a 19. It can't be newer than a 15.
because I was on the board when we got.
No, we have a 2020 activity bus.
We got the white one,
Mhm.
we had purchased two activity buses with AC.
We have two of them, but they're not the same years.
No,
One's-
they're 2 years, or
One's a
they're,
2020 and one's older. So it's gotta be between 2010 and 2015, somewhere in there. I'd have to look on my paper.
because I think we got the one year and the one the next.
Did it?
So could this bus be used for the Mount Hope route, in that route that has like 1 million kids in it with no AC?
No, we wouldn't use it.
The retiring one though.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
if you're retiring.
the problem is with the Mount Hope route is we only have one bus that's big enough right now to transport that many kids.
Is this one not big enough?
No, we have 82 kids on that route right now. But if you guys look at the rest of my report, we did hire a new driver. And I have a driver off right now. She had a back surgery. When she comes back, this new driver is training to get her CDL, and then I'm going to split that route, so it'll be 2 buses.
Okay.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've heard
It's in the works.
I've heard it's miserable, that many kids with no AC.
It's not bad. I mean, it's a short route, luckily, and we do group stops. It's not terrible. I've driven it several times, but I'm sure the kids don't like it. Obviously,
The bus is warmer in the winter.
it's packed, yeah. But we are solving that problem in the near future. But no, this bus would not be a route bus currently. It would just do activities. So. But yes, the one we're rotating could be a route bus. Absolutely, it could be used with it.
So would the minibus just be an extra bus, or would it replace the bus?
So the minibus we would be replacing our. So right now we have 2 wheelchair buses, minibuses. One that we use daily, and one's just a backup because it doesn't have the same amount of seating as the other one does. But the minibus we do have that we use daily has 230,000 miles on it. It's still got some life left in it. I mean, I don't think it necessarily needs to be replaced this year.
Yeah.
But if we did, then yes, we would sell. Well, we would probably sell the smaller one and keep the one we're driving now as a backup. So I don't like not having a backup for a wheelchair. Yeah.
Which I do know that one, I think leaks, it leaks water. My daughter rides that bus.
We find leaks
Well,
off
it
and on,
likes-
and
yeah,
then
they get drenched.
we replace them, where we fix them as they come. So yeah, it's like an RV sometimes. You gotta try to find it and fix it. We've got a lot of rain this year, so we found some.
Everybody get raincoats before they get on the bus now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I don't know which one we need the most, is kind of
So,
where I was going with
look,
this to
So
figure out what.
like I said, in my opinion, the minibus we are gonna need. I don't think we need it this year. The one we're using currently, yes, it's getting some miles on it, but it runs fine. We just put a new lift pump in it this last year. There's nothing wrong with it. The wheelchair, or the 77 passenger bus, right now we don't currently have an activity bus that is wheelchair accessible. So when we do take those trips, there always has to be a minibus. Even if there's, only 30 kids going, we still gotta take a minibus. So it's just an extra expense. So, I mean, my opinion would be the 77 passenger would be the priority, and then, we can revisit this other minibus next year. Because like I said, eventually we would like to do all three of these things, but it's just a matter of timing. So.
Sounds like you're gonna drive it more than 20 times per year. So.
I think it'll, far more than 20 times a year.
Because you'll have football, and you'll have volleyball.
Oh yeah, it'll go out for everything.
You personally might drive it 20 times.
I personally probably drive it more than that. Yes. Yes. And even if we ordered now, it'd probably be late spring before we took delivery on it. So. What's that?
Next fall.
Right?
Okay, now I'm gonna ask another dumb question. So now, but if we're getting ready to possibly approve 130,000, even though yes, there's a $38,000 credit that we aren't gonna get again, but we have HVACs and we have roofs. Do we need to spend $130,000 compared to an HVAC or a roof? Or I know we budget for it, but does
That's
it
your
have
guys'
to be?
decision to make. I
I
can't.
don't know, I guess that's where I get confused of where the money, we budget $200,000 for transportation, but is that come out of capital outlay or is that
Buses do
from-
come out of capital outlay. Part of when we had before the budget was adopted, when we kind of shared out those numbers and what capital outlay would be, some of these things were figured into that. Now, when we went revenue neutral, that limits the amount that's coming in, and so we still have buses that are needed, HVAC, those things are at the top of the list. There will not be any money to do a project like the fax room or some wants type things. These things, why Chad made this as a recommendation, because we feel it is a need of the district. There is money, yes, in our capital outlay, or we wouldn't have made the recommendation. But like we said, we feel it is a need. Everything else on his list is also a need. But this, normally we have budgeted $200,000 for transportation, so we've done a couple mini buses. We bought, a driver's ed car, or those kinds of things on top of a bus. But it has always been the practice to bring a recommendation on our buses every year. If this board wants to change that, then absolutely. Then I just need to know.
But I would also just add that, 5-7 years ago, to purchase a minibus, we were looking at like $80,000, Now that minibus is $120,000. So, I mean, I know we have the grant on the table. I don't know, I see it really hard to pass up on that, because then we'd be spending, next year, if we want to come back to that same bus, how much would that price go up by then?
My problem is where we're gonna be at next year, since we stay neutral. I mean, we talked about this before when we passed the budget. Where are we gonna be at again next year, then something?
I think that comes down to where the board decides they want that cash balance. To see, we're still above where we ended the year last year, even with these purchases. And I think that's where you get into those discussions about what's another project that we can do that isn't a necessity. I mean, like I said, I feel this is a necessity. If the board feels otherwise, then there's no need to make a motion, and Chad will adjust his plan, and we'll continue to make it through the year. But I struggle with not being able to take all of our kids on a bus to an activity. That's enough for me to make the recommendation, but it'll be used certainly more than that, and it continues with the process that's been established. So, where will we be next year? It kind of depends what the spring looks like, but other than this, I will not be bringing any recommendations unless the board wants to see
Something else.
cost on something else, but there won't be a recommendation coming from Chris or I.
I guess that's where it's hard. Do we have something that shows like, this is capital, like this is where the money was allocated for this? Because if we did to stay
Yeah, I shared that
revenue
document
neutral.
with you.
Okay, so that's where, but even after the revenue neutral one,
Yeah.
okay, so I can go back and look at that and see all the different
Well,
things
like
with the
I said,
HVAC and the.
They're not fact, they're taken out of different items, different of those different line items. That depends. We've never been broken it down like that. We've just always brought HVAC, brought roofs and buses, and then everything else has been talked about after that. If the board would like to change that process, I just need to know.
I mean, those are the three big ones we've always talked about, so.
And that's,
It hadn't always been roofs, it has been where the,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
building structure type things,
Yes.
like we did, like.
This group would like
We did that.
to approach it differently, I just need to
No,
know.
No,
I think it's on the right track. I mean, it's a hard decision. How old's the bus that we can get rid of? I mean, you even have,
The bus, if we were to get to 77,
yeah, like, what's the route bus that gets kicked out? Is it
it would
20 plus?
be the 2007. And it would have to be destroyed, that's part of the grant, so.
that's been a problem child, hasn't it?
It's the only one with air brakes and air doors and everything else has hydraulic. And, yeah, I just quit sinking money into it.
Yeah, and that's part of the other piece of the discussion is that we're really replacing end of life equipment. We're not really.
Yeah, it is replacing another bus, so, yeah.
That's good to know.
So I mean, I don't love spending money on bus, but at the same time, like,
Sure.
at some point, if we're gonna have to buy a bus, probably this year, next year, and we have the opportunity to get an extra 30 grand off of it this year,
40 grand.
it's probably better to take it this year and no choice next year, you might not get another one.
Yeah.
Or usually you'll have it on bid campaign.
Yeah,
May have to just go with that minivan
yeah,
or
because
Suburban.
to Kelly's point, like, I mean, at some point, we're probably gonna have to
Sure.
take a bigger chunk of that capital outlay for like
For
air
something
conditioner or
else.
something else.
Yeah.
Just because these things are kind of starting to
Yeah,
collapse a little bit, so.
So make a motion to approve the bus?
Is that a question or a?
I don't, do we need to make a motion to approve the bus?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I make a motion to approve the 77 passenger activity bus and get the credit.
First from Kelly, second from Ken, all in favor, right hand, 6-0.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you, I appreciate that.
All right, consideration of approval of contracts and work agreements. So we'll just have a couple, a cook and a bus para.
She's actually a driver.
Oh, okay. Bus driver. Yeah.
We already came over.
Oh, okay.
She was in the motion.
First from Ken, second from Daniel, all in favor, right hand. 6-0. All right, it's the board governance document. So we, last month, we're going with this 2020-2021 document. If anybody needs one, there's a couple copies over here. What we discussed last month was trying to get through half of it, which would put us, oh, sorry, Daniel. Kind of at the end, I think, of like attendance and executive session. Based on my math, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then most of the way through page 6. You know, obviously we've had some time to look through it, and just, yeah, take it page at a time, and if,
Okay, I got, does it matter now that we have a 7th that's gonna be needing to sign this? Do they need to participate in this?
yeah, it's up to the board to decide.
I don't know, I'm just.
Yeah, you know, I feel like we kind of made the plan that we were gonna do this, you know, but if the board as a whole says
People don't pay tonight,
No.
half,
Just have
is passed, so it could be on in the next one. That's why I was just asking.
So yeah, I mean, I would say if that's something that everybody wants to entertain, then they would need to say that. If they don't say that, then I'm gonna continue doing what I have planned to do. And, you know, it's obviously it's a six-person decision right now, and I just thought this would be a helpful place for us. I personally didn't realize that it would be everything it's become, to be honest. So I thought it was kind of a slam dunk situation, but hey, I've been wrong before, so that's no surprise there. You know? My wife tells me all the time.
We can still go ahead and talk about changes we want to get made. We're not gonna approve a final document today, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we
We're
could
only
not
gonna
have-
go-
This is gonna be a lot if you try to do it all at once.
Sure, yeah, I think at that point I would tell y'all somebody else can do it.
I just didn't want to.
So, yeah, no, yeah, I get it, but, so we'll keep moving?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so first page, there's, now again, this is 6 years old, is what we're starting with, so there are some, for sure, small things that, have come up, that, are different now. But, you know, obviously from where I sit, for the most part, I'm comfortable, so, I guess if anybody's not, I need them to let me know that, and then we can discuss that if needed.
Does anyone have the history of where some of this was removed just along the way, or any of, I mean, 'cause from some of the stuff was from the
Is that,
district stuff?
is that the 20, is
Yeah.
that the ones that got?
This one's
Or the-
this
the
original one versus like the one we were given.
No, like I said, that would have been, Mr. Weedle and whoever. I mean, Ken really was the
Yeah.
only person on the board who I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, because we did that on over at the city park. Is what we think adopted this at that time.
Yeah, it was.
The only changes I made when this started before, when Chris had brought it, was the mission statement, which I put our mission statement, our current mission statement, and our current vision statement, and then the district goals were just changed to the strategic plan goals, which were done through that whole process. Other than that,
And then this one,
doesn't have
that would be in the 25-26 one that we had. This one would be whatever Ken had, because that's what we made copies based off of.
Right.
So like these underneath this mission statement, this 1 through 9, those are the rows capacity. Those are actually state statute that we should be following and a part of KISA and all that. So those exit outcomes, while you don't have to have those in there, those are, we're still gonna do them.
We still have to apply it, yeah.
These exit outcomes.
Yep.
Yeah,
She said it,
that's fine, I just didn't know where.
just emailed it to you.
Perfect.
Alright, so yeah, we have the exit outcomes, which again was, I mean, it can go or it can stay, but we still have to do it. So it probably makes sense to have it in there, again, in my opinion.
Mhm.
I would recommend putting in a new mission statement.
Yeah, so yeah, down below yeah. So, new mission statement would obviously make sense. Keep exit outcomes. The bottom of the vision statements.
vision statement that came out of the strategic plan was preparing all students for responsible for productive citizenship. And vision should be real short and sweet, so.
Yeah, those are.
So those are all done through
So
the
if we
strategic plan process.
Vision statements, yeah, it makes sense to update it to the new one. We want it in there.
But that, I would also, if the board as a whole has visions for them, I think we need to place it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with the new vision statement.
Yeah, as far as the district, and honestly, I mean, I would say if we decide we wanted one for the board, we could hold off, and that could be something we discuss once we get through. Just for the sake of accomplishing something. And so with that,
Old one just really long, is that whole thing, was that whole thing, the visions?
yeah, those
I mean, that-
two, the whole, this here.
paragraphs.
Well, that, and then all this over here, on the next page?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's another heading.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
Sounds like a long.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, we're talking about for sure, just replacing with our vision statement as a district, which is through the strategic plan. So, I mean, we could just update that.
And that might not be a bad thing to work on when the new board is all together.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. We move forward, and then if you want to come back to like a board vision or digging into this, we can always do that. And I mean, I think the goal will be that if we do this again, we'll update it as we go.
But if it's the school vision, it probably needs to reflect
Well,
the
yeah,
school.
I think the strategic plan is probably the place to keep that one. I mean, I think that would make sense, and be part of the process we've had. And then as that work is continuing to be done, it will likely change. So on that second page, up to the red letters there is technically all part of that vision, which we're not really necessarily addressing right now.
Well, we got a little bit of it over here. What's in the
That's
red.
the part that's over here on this one.
Oh, and then this last statement, yes, would be included in that as well. So including that down to district goals. So with that, I guess we would move to
District goals.
district goals.
So these changed in between drafts, the district goals did, because the draft we received like 2 or 3 months ago, or 2 months ago, then had these district goals on them. And then the draft we received at the last meeting had different district goals on them. So do we have different district goals between last month and?
Should not have, I certainly probably just sent the wrong one. The only thing I've changed from this document was changing the district goals that were in here to the 5 goals that were created in our strategic plan. I haven't put any other goals unless I made a mistake there.
So,
The one
So
that
the-
I have is the same exact goals as the 21.
That's the 2021.
So.
Yeah.
It was the one in the, in last.
so the strategic plan goals to provide students personalized opportunities to become successful graduates, provide opportunities for parents and
Yep.
community members.
Yeah, that's where I'm just saying, we're different than the ones for to improve staff morale through ongoing activities, to make all decisions with integrity and transparency. Like, that's where those were on that last one versus this one.
Yeah, it sounds like it, so,
At the last,
for,
the last meeting in the superintendent, agenda, if you clicked on the link, it had different, wording in that area than all of these other ones did.
If it was not the strategic plan goal, then I don't know, there were multiple documents and I made a mistake and linked this.
I was trying to look on
I
the
think I
bottom.
threw one away because
Yeah.
we said that that wasn't the right.
Yeah.
I was trying to look.
Which I think was part of the reason we went with,
That's why I like paper copies.
we went with the
Well, yeah, that's,
the
yeah.
21,
Stuff.
the 2020, 2021, it was because of that, so,
So that's what I'm comparing it to.
so we have, again, we've done some of this work as far as the district goals, as far as the strategic plan. You know, so and then obviously we have what's been listed here. I know, about halfway down, there's a comment about redesign. So I mean, yeah, I think the question is, unless somebody has a different ideas, you know, do we go with this? Do we go with strategic plan? Is there?
Are there any holes in the strategic plan goals that we had on the old goals that we need to revisit? I mean, to be honest, none of them are like super specific action item type stuff
No,
anyway,
they're
so.
supposed to be broad, they cover, I would say
So-
they do, but,
Well,
I think, well, I don't, I'm trying to see which ones are staff morale. So did that just get taken, off, like to improve staff morale?
So basically what happened is the goals from the strategic plan got put on top of these old goals. So the question is, are there old goals that we feel strongly should be listed there with the strategic plan goals, right?
You're saying you're on strategic plan, or are you talking about district goals?
District goals.
The district goals are from the
See, here's what was on the last version we got, which was different from the version we got before.
Well,
This was the
this is-
version.
Yeah.
Is this the one that was handed out,
That's all cool, sorry.
I think at the last meeting? Is that
Right,
was-
this was what was attached in
to-
the.
That's different.
That's different, yes. So that's why we just want to see which ones of these we want and which ones of these aren't covered in that.
Because that's a very shortened version of this. And then we were handed this, which is the same, I think, as this.
I think we should make sure that we make all decisions with integrity and transparency. I mean, that's kind of important. That's not in the
Sure.
new one. I could be wrong, but
I think you know you're not, so.
I feel like I'm picking these apart, but if I'm comparing ones that aren't covered in these new ones. I'm trying to see which ones overlap.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if that's what we're comfortable with, we can, I mean,
Keep 'em.
really, most all of these fit within, like, I think what he was saying is like, they fit within like one of those 5 categories. And if we wanna keep these, and I'm sure we could do a little bit of work at some point, even just to say, like, label which one they fall under. And, or, you know, yeah, we do it, do whatever we. Yeah, so yeah, like what's in the 2020, 2021, we wanna keep that. We can ensure that, I mean, you know, again, those small little language pieces are gonna just,
Well, I like this one, I don't know where it would fall, but like the maintain fiscal responsibility, that not only support operational expenses, but also provide for the maintenance of all buildings and the development of new facilities. And was that, are you putting that
Sure.
one under the,
well, the goal 4 would be facilities and capital, I mean, it would be, I mean, I know it's not, but it would be.
I guess I like fiscal responsibility.
Which I would say has been an absolute staple of this board for, I mean, I know since I've been on it and even before, for sure. I mean, up until Mr. Weedle came, I would say that that's been true.
You wouldn't need that next one, that market the district as it relates to improved facilities, you wouldn't need that one.
Yep, so,
Quality factor from employees, that one's covered under the strategies for attracting, supporting, and retaining highly qualified staff. So you wouldn't need that one. And then,
you could just,
future. Students and staff, I guess that one's not that big a deal. Innovate and create an approach to provide the best possible learning environment. That one just falls under. The last.
I mean, that could be, I mean, student learning
Yeah, that's what I was looking
would
for.
be the
That one.
best place for that. I mean, and then, you know, they kind of align with their things that we value, that fit, I think.
So I would say we would keep, I would vote, whatever, recommend or, and to keep 1, 2, and 3 of the old districts, one, and then, I don't know if you can add fiscal responsibility or something into that other one, and then you can get rid
so
of the
one I have,
last.
the fourth one is maintain fiscal responsibility.
Yeah, I don't know if you just add something into that one you have, where it talks about.
I would say changing anything on the strategic plan, we need to go through that formal process.
Oh, that's that one, okay.
Yeah.
So you
So this
just
would
keep
be-
that one, just keep, so you would keep, or get rid of that one, just keep 1, 2, and 3, and then drop the other ones and use those right there. Drop 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Because those will kind of fit into the,
You should keep the first
Right.
one, the first 3.
well, they're saying that maintain, that one goes into the buildings one. Which one is?
I don't see that one. for first three.
Oh, no, I guess I thought there was a buildings one. Maybe there isn't.
There's, you're talking about in the strategic plan, there should be facilities. Goal 4. Goal 4 is facilities / capital.
No, I don't see that either.
Can you read that one?
Provide a safe and updated learning environment where students and staff can be innovative and successful.
Provide a safe and updated learning environment where students, okay.
Yeah, which really those last two kind of fit in that.
But I don't see that.
Budgets and supports operators. So you want to keep 1, 2, 3, 4, and then stick them on top of those?
Well,
Because I would agree that the bottom 5
Yeah.
kind of overlap into
Yeah,
what those
those.
are. They'd just be the top 3, 4.
Do you think number 1's covered by that last bullet? I guess it's.
Stakeholders. This is talking about,
Is staff not a stakeholder?
I don't think what they're considering a stakeholder. I think they were talking about that is, yes, probably, you're probably correct, that they can be a stakeholder, but we have a lot of staff who don't live in the district,
Does it matter if there's
but I don't know.
extra? If you have those 4 on top of those 5 or 6? 5, I think it counts.
Anybody else? So 1, to improve staff morale through ongoing activities which encourage and support all staff. Yay.
Yay.
To make all decisions with integrity. Huh?
I wouldn't-
Oh, sorry,
Oh, I wasn't voting.
I'm just looking for, an
Encouragement to
yeah,
keep on
just
going.
consensus,
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't, poor wordage.
Oh, yeah.
Make all decisions with integrity and transparency, already kind of said that, I think. Continually identify and address inefficiencies throughout the district. Certainly the best we can. Maintain fiscal responsibility. Develop budgets that not only support operational expenses, but also provide for the maintenance of all buildings and the development of new facilities.
Yeah, I like those. So on the unvote, do any of those massively overlap with the 5 other district goals in there? And I mean, yes, there may be words that could commingle, but
Sure.
just being more,
Yeah.
I think saying more is not always bad
Yeah.
in this case.
So what I just read?
I'm okay with
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Still thinking? Okay.
Yeah, no, go ahead, I'm on the next one.
Okay, good. Board member expectations. All right. So there's a statement at the top. Promote the best interests of the school district as a whole. Make decisions that place student learning and the success of all students first by adhering to the following educational and ethical standards. Obviously, there's a lot of those.
This is exactly the same as the last one, right?
Yeah, this one is. So, this, the bullet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, basically the last one on that first page. Just because it's been said to me before, a lot of times, things are not surprises. They're just lack of time ahead of time to be able to address. Because I have a busy schedule and a busy life, and I bring things to the board to talk about them, because that's my allotted time. I'm not trying to surprise it, so.
I think it's a good thing to have in there. I mean, the goal should be to help everyone come prepared for the meeting, so it's gonna happen where things come up, right? And it's not saying as a board member, I'll never bring up something that I didn't talk to somebody else about before, but as a general rule, we should try to.
A lot of times I don't have a lot of the information ready ahead, like much, a week in advance
I think
or something
something
like
as
that.
simple as,
So
this is something I'm hearing is, I think helpful.
I mean, it's fine, it's in there, I just wanna make sure,
Yeah.
like, I'm not trying to go against this when I bring things up in the board, it's just a lack of time, a lot of times when I look at things beforehand.
Yeah, we can't, that would have to be, that's obviously your, I guess, responsibility or your, to be prepared, I guess, to a place that you're comfortable with, and, but I think, there might be situations that, gives us, the ability or to, as a board, make that decision, if we have this written down, so, that the board as a whole feels like maybe it's a surprise, whether it's intentional or not, then we kind of have the ability to respond to that, I think, and I don't think that's a bad thing, personally. so I mean, are there any other that are, you know, as we read through them, are there any other, like, Kelly, you know, put a little clarification to one of those items? Are there any that we feel that way about, like, we're not comfortable with it being in there? I think for the most part, this is a lot of KSB stuff here.
That's good.
I mean, it's basically word for word what,
Yeah,
Yeah.
guess I just don't want that coming back and biting me when
Well,
I'm intentionally
And I,
time.
I think there's times that things could have been resolved before a meeting. I mean, it's happened to all of us, but I think with enough phone calls and talking to people, I think most of us can come pretty prepared to a board meeting.
yeah, and I mean, I think this isn't, you know, this is a general guidelines. Again, there are, you know, I hope that we all approach it with, you know, that there are times that, yeah, situations dictate that things are, I mean, we seem to continually be brought situations that we weren't expecting, right? I mean, you can't account for everything, I guess is what I'm trying to say, but if we can account for 95%, we leave ourselves in a much better place, in my opinion. But so down to as board president, there's more on the back. If you flip, are we okay with all that's in there? If I'm rushing, let me know. Yeah, I know. Okay, good. Okay, so board president.
Amy wants to watch football.
Sorry, there is a typo, and then right above as board president, review and revise this document as the beginning.
Yeah,
of each
so
act.
yeah, we actually had that from so yeah, at the beginning of each fiscal year. So as board president listed there. Additional time commitment. Work closely with the superintendent to develop plans, obviously as based on what we discuss as a board. You know, that's nothing special there. On. We're just on as board president part,
Okay.
just if everybody's comfortable there. Again, I think that stuff is very similar to the training we've had and.
Yep.
Okay, move to board meetings. Again, I would say this is all stuff that we are, as far as those first few things, I mean, that's just stuff we have to do, we're required to do. How we handle change of dates, things of those situations.
Have we been doing the reorganization? Are you on the regular meetings?
Sorry, yes, now we're on board meetings, regular
Okay.
meetings.
It's during the month of July.
Oh, yes.
Reorganize.
It should be on
Should,
January.
did we?
Yes, we wanna, that's since been changed, and I would assume we wanna keep with
For January?
January.
So
I mean, that, so yes, where it says,
Sorry,
That's not that one.
that happens in July, that's part of the consent agenda.
Yes,
That's
so
just
there are,
when we're meeting, not who's president, vice president.
Yeah,
That does
there's-
happen in January.
one thing,
Okay.
yeah, that happened in July, but as far as making,
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's just you establishing that we do it on the second Monday of the month at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's all I'm
that's
saying.
cool.
Yep.
That's good. It's not the first time today.
The days almost.
Again, all of that, it's, it's up to, for the most part, it's up to the individual board member to announce a conflict of interest, when voting. And if you do, it is counted as a no vote,
Unless you step out.
unless you step out, yeah. Yeah, the last line there says that it shall not be counted as having voted. So, protects you there a little bit. Again, agendas. Are we good? The stuff above, developing the board meeting agenda, just basically process there. That's finalized by Thursday. If somebody asks for something to be added, I would say more than not, it usually is, if they ask me. If it's not, then you're always welcome to
Unless it comes from me.
add it. Well, that's not necessarily true.
Doesn't hide.
But, yeah. If it is, things can be added up and so. Then again, below that, use of executive session, again, this is all stuff that like we're required to do. So all that. Good. Attendance in executive session. And that's what we're stopping at, is the below attendance in executive session. I mean, that would be the halfway point. So, again, a lot of that stuff is stuff that we're kind of required to do. We all good up to that point? We have a consensus there, okay?
Would the board like Christie and I to get together, make these corrections, and send this out so you can have that to look out
Yeah,
prior
that would be
to?
good.
That would be good.
That'd be appreciated.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep, absolutely. I'll put it in my update on Friday.
Very good. Thank you, sir. All right, and then we appreciate you guys on that. We have one, a quick executive session, 10 minutes. Okay. Yeah. All right. And so we'll, I guess we've made a practice. We'll step downstairs for that. So I'll read that motion. I move the board recess to executive session to discuss issues with current staff members pursuant to the non-elected personnel exception under KOMA. The open meeting shall resume at 8:11 to include the board and Craig Idacavage. Need a second?
Second.
All in favor, right hand? 6-0.
Sure, keep that.
Okay, reports, RCEC, don't really have anything to share. Nothing certainly that concerns our school, same issues. So, yeah, can't hire people, they won't stay.
They are, as we talked about, they are going through just a personnel study, just making sure they've got the right amount of staff in the right places, so.
With what they do have?
Yeah, what they currently have, what they need, you know, their budget's certainly tighter than what, you know, we're working with, and so, you know, making sure we have the right programs, so really taking a deep dive in RCDC personnel, what we pay, and, you know, the costs keep going up. In a way, spends funding's based on the number of teachers, so.
Yep, that's about it, so,
Yeah, just a couple things. Just a big shout out, congratulations to all of our fall sports teams. It was a great fall, so we had medalists at state in tennis and cross country, and we'll get those groups there. Football team had another outstanding, you know, season, a couple games into postseason. Volleyball had best record they've had, you know, in years, and girls golf had a couple girls that one was a few strokes out from qualifying, so it was a really good fall. Question, I do need some more guidance. I've been approached by King Solar again, just talking solar. I think it would be good for them just to come in and you guys to hear. You know, if we could afford it, it would be, you know, something to cut down on that $15,000 check that we're cutting every month, and so. You know, there's options for it if you can pay for it yourself. There's, you know, something very similar to like the energy lease, and I know how this group feels about that. As we're at the end of that now,
Especially
you know,
one, huh?
in 8 to 10 years, somebody might feel differently, just like I think they probably felt differently, and the need was when that went in. But if there was no pushback, I would recommend, or I'd like to, and Chris is okay to bring him in and just kind of talk through it, allow you guys to ask questions and see if you all want to, you know, look at next steps and see if it's even possible. I'm a proponent for it. I see, you know, numbers look like it would certainly bring down the costs, but it's how do we get there?
I think we good to talk about it.
So we'll work on getting that. Probably we'll wait and get him in January.
Were any of the roofs that he was gonna put these on, any of the roofs that were needing to be replaced?
The
It actually would be a spectacular place to put them, is where they need to be replaced.
Well, there's something
did
about
not think that the
solar
roofs, our roofs would hold them, so they're looking to put these on the ground.
Oh, okay, in this, oh, okay, is that the picture, is that what I'm looking
Yeah,
at?
that's
Does it
probably-
show them on the roof?
I'm not sure, maybe, I'm not sure, he would have to answer all those questions.
It's right there. If any roof would hold it, would be the gym roof.
Is that what this is showing? I don't know, maybe these aren't.
And that gym roof's metal, so I don't know, like I said, I
Yeah.
remember him talking about putting it on the
Well, I know that
ground.
when some solar companies were going around and doing that stuff, they were actually being able to commingle in the fixing, the redoing of the roof with the solar project.
Right.
And so if you go down this, if it was something on the roof that we need to replace, then you can.
Is there a,
So
covered parking? Is there somebody else after we talk to them, because you hear certain nightmares of people putting solar on, and it makes no difference, and it was a waste of time, a waste of money, after they talk to us? Is there another group that we can, instead of King Solar?
I can reach out, I know King Solar did work out at Scott City, I know they're super, I can reach, Maze has some solar, there's some other
See who else has done
districts, you know, that can, I think that's who we would want to compare it to.
He's
'Cause-
got a big solar.
Right, you know, and what it does to the bills, and we can collect some of that information to talk through.
I believe that's all where their buses are plugged in.
Are they?
Because I just went by there here,
The
2 weeks
plant
ago,
there in
3?
Colwich helped pay for that, though.
because I looked at it and go, oh, wow.
Burns,
Oh,
though.
I see.
I see.
Maybe
They
King
fronted the dollars for them. And then
Yeah, no, I think if we, after we talk to them, we find out who else has done it.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. And then the last thing I have is just Happy Veterans Day to tomorrow's Veterans Day. We've got veterans on our staff and in our community and in our lives, so it is an important holiday in aspects. So just a Happy Veterans Day to them, and thank them for their services if you see them. So and that is all I have.
Very good. We'll move on to board member reports. Daniel?
I'm good.
Ken?
Do we have any veterans on the board?
None on the board on our admin team. We do.
Okay. Well, then, Tell them thank you for,
Well, wait, Chris Moore, sorry. Yeah, Chris Moore, our director.
well, thank you for your service that you did.
Thank you.
That's all I got.
All right, Kelly?
I got nothing.
Okay.
Surprise.
Yeah, I just saw, yeah, so I saw it on social media, but, and I just thought it was cool, so I just thought I'd shout her out, but, Piper Schroeder's the manager of the social media for the yearbook stuff, and like, she's just kind of been able to take it and run with it. And she put together, like, she shot her own footage of the football game and put together a video of like a hype thing. And I was just like, this is really cool. And I was like, where'd she get the footage? And she's like, well, she shot it herself. And I was like, that's just really impressive. So I was just like, that's a cool thing that they're getting to do that. And it was just really well done. So I was like, man, I would, you know, it was cool. So anyway, that's all. That's good. All right. Okay.
Board clerk report. No report. Next board meeting, December 8th, 2025. Everybody have a nice, happy Thanksgiving. Again, a motion to adjourn from the first, second from Daniel, all in favor, right hand, 6-0. I'll get that there, Ryan.
I've never seen him in action, but I've heard from multiple people that he